This is sort of public face. It's a public website with a very simple URL. We just give overview of what this is. There is, of course, some information about the technology, quite a bit about the Second Life campus, and that's because, well, obviously, it's a very attractive proposition, and lots of people want to hear about it. There are some publications. There is a promotion video, which I'm sure you've seen, but if you haven't, please have a look. You might enjoy it. This is where the academic engagement starts. Is where we explain what the research team we are supporting at the moment are. And we've asked each coordinator to provide a brief description so people can start to have a look at what it's all about and the content details, so they can go through the procedure of contacting the academic which is nominated and start a conversation to see if there is a viable project which will constitute a submission to the research school in the usual way with interview and the process from there on. This is a brief description, and then we go into more details. So there is that further information. There's a page per theme, again provided by the coordinator in collaboration with other academics working in the same theme. This is from Shift, for instance. It's put quite a bit of information, reference, and so forth. It's also put some other stuff. It's got a YouTube podcast that he did of his, what is it called, the multi-touch table that they have in the lab. So I mean, there's a sort of way of, I'm not going to show the video, but you can show off your research, and it's a way of reach out and show what you do and start getting the attention of people that maybe want to do something with you. And what's happening at that point, they get in touch, they might end up enrolling in Phil, you might get new PhD students. The point is that you reach out to the community and you show what you do. So that's the public side of it. Okay, so please have a look. I mean, the other thing I wanted to mention, we put some effort into the registration process, which we sort of separated from the other computing website, and we created some specific instruction how to build a proposal. So what we're trying to do really is to give the sort of more structured experience that perhaps students do in taught courses, but they don't necessarily get at the moment for research degrees. So not the gold plating you get from courses, but at least some of the infrastructure. Okay. Once you register, and if you have a new account, even if you're not registered now, you can go into our internal site. So anybody with an account now can use this site. You get automatically registered as a student, so with the lowest priority, we can give you more depending on how you get involved. I'm an administrator, so forget about that column that doesn't actually appear on the user page. This is a Moodle site. You're probably all familiar with this because it's the platform the university uses for all courses now. So there is only so much we can do in terms of look and feel, so that's okay. There are lots of resources, and we'll talk about this at length. What I'm going to discuss just a little is the central bit that perhaps you haven't seen. Usually the Moodle sites have a calendar because they are courses that are driven by dates and deadlines. What we've done, we organize it by research topics or theme, and this is where academics come in and customize the site. So each group of academics, each team will have a space there to put the resources they need and want, and organize them in the way they find more appropriate. Okay? So at the moment there is one for each of the themes we have identified, and the coordinator are in charge of the editing. I'll just show you briefly what John and I have been doing, which is obviously on our research. We started by building up a generic page of resources. So because one of the original ideas was, okay, when the students come in, you give a sort of roadmap of the area, and there are some key publications you want them to read, you want everybody to be aware of that. So we started to do that. We started to say, okay, these are the sort of things you can do, who's doing what, giving a flavor of the community. And then we sort of experimented with other things like, well, we can do podcasts, and so we created some podcasts very, very easily. They're just slideshow with audio, essentially. but they're available. So these are just ideas. So there's no set model for these things. You can put whatever you want. And then we started to think, okay, how we engage the community. And originally we thought, well, we use Moodle. But as a matter of fact, Moodle is not a social network. It's a content management system. And it's a bit clunky for this net. So at some point, somebody mentioned to us Ning. I think it was Leona. She went to a presentation. And so we actually created a Ning social network. And I'll take you there. So what is Ning? Ning is a technology which allows anybody to put up very quickly, like 5 minutes, literally, a social network. You decide on the privacy issue, so you can make it smaller or bigger as you want, you can make it open, whatever. And the nice thing is that it's free, obviously. You get some advertising, but they're quite tasteful in the sense that they're relevant usually, rather than being some bizarre things on Facebook. And you can bring together people who are not EU registered users. And why is that important? Because, for instance, John and I use it to bring together our students and our investor collaboration in a sort of safe environment. And so we grow our little community and we create connection. It has all the bells and whistles of any social network. So we don't have to worry whether we want a forum, a blog, a wiki. Well, they're all there. People use whatever they want. Simple interface. People comes in, you can have this sort of stuff. It's actually very, very powerful. And I would recommend people consider it instead of going from some bizarre structure or some really hard knowledge to use. Okay, that's all I want you to say. And we switch computers, so you can take forward.